Welcome to The Gentle Murmur of the Teapot, a calming slice of life story designed to ease you into a peaceful and restful sleep. If you find tranquility in this gentle narrative and would like to experience more stories like it, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel for a regular stream of soothing content. Before we immerse ourselves in Clara's peaceful morning routine, we'll begin with a brief breathing guidance to help you unwind and prepare for the journey ahead. For those who prefer to drift directly into the story, you can find chapter timestamps in the video description below. Let's find a comfortable position, allowing your body to settle into the softness beneath you. Feel the gentle support of your bed or chair and let your muscles begin to soften. Perhaps adjust your blanket or pillow to create a cozy nest just for you. This is your sanctuary, a space to release the day's tensions and welcome the quiet of the evening. Soon we'll join Clara as she begins her peaceful tea ritual. But first, let's center ourselves with a few calming breaths. Imagine the gentle warmth of a ceramic mug in your hands. Let's breathe in together now, slowly and deeply through your nose, like inhaling the fragrant steam rising from a freshly brewed cup of Earl Grey tea. Hold for a moment, feeling the air fill your lungs with calm. Now, exhale slowly through your mouth, like a soft sigh of contentment, releasing any lingering worries or stress with each breath. Feel your shoulders soften, your jaw relax, and your forehead smooth as you exhale. With each breath, imagine the gentle murmur of the teapot, a soothing sound washing over you and bringing a sense of deep peace. As you continue to breathe gently, imagine the soft morning sunlight filtering through linen curtains, just like in Clara's kitchen. Feel the warmth of this gentle light on your skin, soothing and relaxing you. If your mind wanders, simply guide it back to the rhythm of your breath or to the sound of my voice. There's nothing you need to do but listen and allow the gentle murmur of the teapot to guide you toward a tranquil and restful sleep. Let's now step into Clara's world, where the simple act of making tea becomes a pathway to peace and quiet joy. Chapter 1. The Kettle's First Whisper. The house was still draped in the soft hues of early morning, a gentle quietude that Clara cherished. She stirred beneath her duvet, the linen cool against her skin, and listened to the silence, a comforting blanket before the day began to unfold. A faint, silvery light crept through the edges of her curtains, hinting at the sunrise just beyond the horizon. It was a light that promised a gentle day, a day for quiet moments and simple pleasures. Rising slowly, Clara padded barefoot to the kitchen, the cool tiles a pleasant sensation against her sleepy feet. The air in the kitchen was still and slightly cool, carrying the faintest scent of dried herbs from the balcony garden just outside the window. She moved with a quiet grace, her movements unhurried and deliberate, each step part of a familiar morning ritual. This quiet time was hers, a space to gather her thoughts and prepare for the gentle unfolding of the day. She filled the kettle with fresh water, the sound of the tap a soft gurgle that broke the stillness. The cool water rushed into the metal, a clean, refreshing sound. As she placed the kettle on the stove, the gentle weight of it grounded her in the present moment. She turned the knob, and the gas flame ignited with a soft whoosh. a low, comforting sound that promised warmth and the start of her tea ritual. While the kettle began its slow heating process, Clara opened the kitchen window. A rush of cool morning air entered, carrying with it the faint, fresh scent of damp earth and the distant chirping of early rising birds. She leaned against the windowsill, inhaling deeply, letting the cool air awaken her senses. The sounds of the awakening world were soft and gentle, a distant car humming, the rustle of leaves in a nearby tree, and the occasional soft coo of a pigeon. She turned her attention to her tea collection, a small wooden box filled with an assortment of fragrant leaves. Her fingers brushed against the smooth paper packets, each labeled with careful handwriting. Today she felt drawn to Earl Grey, its bergamot scent a promise of gentle awakening and subtle citrus notes. She selected the packet, the paper rustling softly in her hand, and placed it beside her favorite ceramic teapot. The kettle was beginning to stir, a low hum emanating from its base, a gentle whisper that promised warmth. Clara took down her favorite mug from the shelf, a simple, unadorned ceramic piece that fit perfectly in her hands. The smooth coolness of the ceramic felt grounding and familiar. She ran her fingers around the rim, appreciating the simple beauty of its form. The hum of the kettle deepened, transitioning into a soft, rising whistle, a gentle announcement that the water was nearing its boiling point. It was a sound that always brought a sense of calm anticipation, signaling the next step in her morning ritual. She moved closer to the stove, drawn to the comforting sound and the promise of warm tea. As the kettle reached its peak, a soft plume of steam escaped from the spout, carrying with it the faint, clean scent of heated water. Clara carefully lifted the kettle, the handle warm against her palm, and turned off the stove. The sudden silence after the kettle's whistle was almost palpable, a moment of pure stillness before the next gentle sound began. She poured the steaming water into the teapot, the sound a soft, gurgling cascade that filled the quiet kitchen. The warm steam rose, carrying the faint, dry scent of the tea leaves, a promise of the fragrant brew to come. The gentle murmur of the teapot, filled with hot water and tea leaves, was a soothing sound, a quiet invitation to slow down and savor the moment. Chapter 2. Steeping Sunlight and Steam. The kitchen was now filled with the delicate aroma of Earl Grey, the citrusy bergamot mingling with the clean scent of steam. Clara watched as the steam rose from the teapot spout, a delicate white plume against the pale yellow of the kitchen walls. It danced and swirled in the gentle morning light, a silent ballet of warmth and fragrance. The air felt softer now, infused with the promise of comfort. Sunlight began to stream more fully through the kitchen window, casting a warm golden glow across the countertop and illuminating tiny dust motes dancing in the air. These tiny particles, usually unseen, were now brought to life by the sunlight, shimmering like miniature stars in a quiet galaxy. The light warmed her skin as she stood by the window, a gentle, comforting embrace. She placed a small, woven tea cozy over the teapot, a soft, tactile gesture that felt both practical and comforting. The cozy, made of thick, natural fibers, would keep the tea warm as it steeped, allowing the flavors to fully develop and deepen. It was a small act of care, a nurturing gesture towards the tea and towards herself. Closing her eyes, Clara inhaled deeply, drawing in the fragrant steam. The scent of bergamot was more pronounced now, a bright, uplifting aroma that cleared her mind and awakened her senses. She could almost taste the tea already, the subtle citrus notes and the gentle warmth promising a soothing start to her day. The scent alone was enough to bring a sense of calm and gentle energy. She turned her gaze to the balcony garden just outside the window. The morning sunlight was now bathing the potted herbs and flowers in a warm glow. Dewdrops clung to the leaves of the lavender, sparkling like tiny jewels. A gentle breeze rustled through the rosemary, releasing its fragrant piney scent into the air, mingling with the bergamot of the tea. She noticed a small butterfly, its wings a delicate pale yellow, fluttering among the lavender blossoms. It moved with a slow, graceful rhythm, pausing to sip nectar from the tiny purple flowers. Watching its gentle movements brought a sense of peace and quiet wonder. The small garden, even in the heart of the city, felt like a miniature haven of nature. The steam continued to rise from the teapot, now carrying a richer, deeper aroma as the tea leaves unfurled and released their essence into the hot water. The scent was becoming more complex, the bergamot now layered with subtle, earthy notes and a hint of floral sweetness. It was a fragrance that spoke of comfort and gentle awakening. Clara glanced at the small kitchen timer, its gentle ticking a soft rhythm in the quiet room. The tea had been steeping for just a few minutes, but already the transformation was evident in the deepening aroma and the rich amber color beginning to peek out from under the edge of the tea cozy. Patience was part of the ritual, allowing the tea to reach its full potential. She reached out and gently touched the ceramic teapot, feeling the pleasant warmth radiating through the cozy. The warmth spread through her fingertips and into her palm, a grounding, comforting sensation. It was a reminder of the warmth within, both in the tea and in the quiet moments she was creating for herself. The gentle murmur of the steeping tea continued, a soft, comforting soundscape for her peaceful morning. Chapter 3. The Warmth of the Mug. The timer chimed softly, a gentle melodic sound that signaled the tea was perfectly steeped. Clara lifted the cozy from the teapot, releasing a final burst of fragrant steam into the air. The aroma of Earl Grey was now rich and full, a promise of the comforting warmth and flavor to come. She carefully lifted the teapot, its weight reassuring in her hands. She placed her ceramic mug on the countertop, ready to receive the brewed tea. The mug was cool to the touch, a slight contrast to the warmth emanating from the teapot. She paused for a moment, appreciating the simple anticipation of pouring the tea, the culmination of her quiet morning ritual. With a slow, deliberate motion, Clara poured the steeped tea into her mug. The liquid flowed smoothly, a rich amber stream that filled the mug with a comforting warmth. The sound of the tea pouring was a soft, gurgling murmur, a gentle counterpoint to the quiet stillness of the kitchen. The fragrant steam rose again, enveloping her face in its soothing aroma. She watched as the mug filled, the amber liquid catching the sunlight streaming through the window, creating a warm, inviting glow. The surface of the tea shimmered slightly, reflecting the light and promising a rich, flavorful brew. She filled the mug almost to the brim, leaving just enough space to avoid spilling as she moved. Lifting the mug carefully, Clara felt the pleasant warmth spread through her hands. The ceramic radiated a gentle heat, a comforting sensation on a cool morning. She cradled the mug in both hands, feeling the warmth seep into her palms and fingers, relaxing any lingering tension. The weight of the mug was also grounding, a solid presence in her hands. She carried the mug towards the balcony door, her steps slow and deliberate, savoring the anticipation of enjoying her tea in the garden. The gentle weight of the mug and the warmth in her hands anchored her in the present moment, each step a mindful movement. She could already imagine the peacefulness of sitting amongst her plants, sipping her warm tea. Opening the balcony door, she stepped out into the small garden. The morning air was fresh and cool, carrying the mingled scents of herbs, flowers, and damp earth. The sunlight was now brighter, bathing the garden in a warm golden light. The sounds of the city were still muted here, softened by the plants and the quiet morning air. She settled into her comfortable chair, placed strategically amongst the potted plants. The chair was made of woven natural fibers, soft and supportive. As she sat, she felt a gentle sense of release, letting go of any lingering tension in her shoulders and back. The chair embraced her, creating a cozy and peaceful space. With the warm mug nestled in her hands, Clara looked around her small balcony garden. The lavender was swaying gently in the breeze, its purple blossoms vibrant against the green foliage. The rosemary stood tall and fragrant, its needle-like leaves catching the sunlight. A small pot of chamomile offered delicate white flowers, promising calming scents. The garden was a miniature haven of peace, a perfect place to savor her morning tea and the quiet beauty of the day unfolding. Chapter 4. Quiet Sips and Gentle Thoughts. Clara brought the mug to her lips, inhaling deeply one last time, savoring the rich aroma of the Earl Grey. The scent was now deeply comforting, a familiar and welcoming presence. She closed her eyes for a moment, simply enjoying the fragrance before taking her first sip. The anticipation was a gentle pleasure in itself. She took a slow, deliberate sip of tea. The warm liquid flowed smoothly over her tongue, awakening her taste buds with a gentle warmth and the bright citrusy notes of bergamot. The tea was perfectly brewed, balanced and flavorful, a comforting warmth that spread through her mouth and throat. She savored the taste, letting it linger for a moment before swallowing. The warmth of the tea continued to spread, reaching her chest and stomach, a soothing sensation that eased any lingering coolness from the morning air. She felt a gentle relaxation deepen within her, a sense of calm settling over her body and mind. The tea was more than just a beverage. It was a source of comfort and quiet energy. She opened her eyes and gazed around her balcony garden. The sunlight was shifting, casting long, gentle shadows across the pots and plants. The leaves of the lavender shimmered in the light breeze, creating a soft, whispering sound. The butterfly she had seen earlier had returned, flitting from blossom to blossom with a gentle, unhurried grace. Taking another slow sip of tea, Clara let her thoughts drift gently, like clouds in the sky. She didn't try to control them, simply observed them as they came and went, like leaves floating on a quiet stream. There was no need to analyze or judge, just a gentle observation of the flow of her inner world. The tea and the peaceful garden created a space for quiet contemplation. She noticed the subtle shifts in light and shadow as the sun continued to rise. The colors of the flowers seemed to deepen and brighten in the stronger light. The shadows cast by the pots and plants moved slowly across the balcony floor, marking the gentle passage of time. These subtle changes in light and shadow were a quiet reminder of the constant, gentle rhythm of nature. A soft breeze rustled the leaves of the rosemary, releasing its fragrant piney scent into the air. The aroma mingled with the bergamot of the tea, creating a complex and soothing fragrance that enveloped her in a comforting embrace. The scents of the garden and the tea were a constant, gentle reminder of the beauty and tranquility of her surroundings. She took another sip of tea, savoring the warmth and flavor. With each sip, she felt more grounded, more present in the moment. The simple act of drinking tea, combined with the peacefulness of the garden, created a sense of deep calm and inner stillness. She was content to simply be, to observe, and to appreciate the quiet beauty of the morning. As she continued to sip her tea, Clara felt a sense of gratitude for these simple moments of peace. The quiet morning, the fragrant tea, the gentle garden, these were small joys that filled her day with beauty and tranquility. She knew that these moments of quietude were essential, a source of strength and calm that would carry her through the day ahead. The gentle murmur of the teapot, now just a memory, lingered in the warmth of her mug and the peace in her heart. Chapter 5. The Lingering Scent of Bergamot. Clara finished the last of her tea, the final sip leaving a lingering warmth in her throat and a gentle, citrusy aftertaste. She lowered the empty mug, feeling a sense of quiet satisfaction and contentment. The tea ritual was complete, leaving her refreshed, grounded, and ready to embrace the day. The warmth of the mug still lingered in her hands, a comforting reminder of the peaceful moment she had just experienced. She sat for a few moments longer in her chair, simply enjoying the quiet of the garden and the lingering sense of calm. The morning sunlight was now fully illuminating the balcony, casting a bright, cheerful glow over the plants and flowers. The air felt slightly warmer, the coolness of the early morning giving way to the gentle warmth of the rising sun. The scent of bergamot still hung faintly in the air, a subtle reminder of the Earl Grey she had just enjoyed. It mingled with the fragrances of lavender and rosemary, creating a complex and soothing aroma that lingered in the garden. This gentle scent was a subtle echo of the peace and tranquility she had found in her tea ritual. She noticed the butterfly again, still flitting among the lavender blossoms, its delicate wings a soft flutter of pale yellow against the purple flowers. It seemed to embody the gentle rhythm of the morning, a symbol of quiet beauty and unhurried movement. Watching it brought a sense of peace and connection to the natural world. Clara stretched gently, extending her arms and legs, releasing any lingering stiffness from sleep. The movements were slow and deliberate, a gentle awakening of her body after the stillness of her workday. the lingering scent of bergamot, the memory of the warm mug in her hands, the peacefulness of the garden, all these remained with her, a gentle undercurrent of calm and contentment that would accompany her throughout the day, a quiet promise of peace in the ordinary moments of life.